Alright, we are in the knockout rounds of the 2026 World Cup. The brackets tightening up, and there is one storyline everyone keeps skipping past like it's already decided. Everyone, pundits, fans, half the betting markets has basically crowned France. Mbappé, Dembélé, Olise are bench that could start for most countries top of the group with 10 goals scored. The narrative is set. France cruised to New Jersey on July 19th and left a third star. Here's the thing though, I don't think France's biggest problem is Brazil or Argentina or England. I think it's the one team FIFA's own seeding has been quietly keeping away from them until the final four, Spain. And not Spain, nice passing, shame they are a bit toothless Spain. This Spain, the one that just put 5 clean sheets back to back and hasn't been breached once in this entire tournament. So here's the plan. I'm going to show you exactly where France are leaking, why Spain are built right now, this month, to hit that exactly, and why we have genuinely already seen this movie before on the biggest stage there is. And if you want one stat to sit with before we get going, Luis de la Fuente's Spain have gone 34 competitive games unbeaten in 90 minutes. 34. Let that sink in for a second because we are about to get into why that number is not accident. Let's start with the one people write off too easily, Spain's form. Everyone remembers the group stage. Spain drew with Cape Verde, looking a bit flat, and the discourse turned instantly. This Spain side is not the Euro 2024 vintage. They are young, they are vulnerable. Fair enough on the surface, but look at what's happened since the knockouts actually started. 5 games, 5 clean sheets, and Thursday's 3-0 demolition of Austria wasn't a scrappy 1-0 squeeze through. It was total control. 2 Oyarzabal goals, a Poro header, Unai Simon not even having to make a save that mattered. De La Fuente basically flipped the switch the moment the tournament turned knockout. That's not a team papering over cracks. That's a team that treats the group stage as homework and the knockouts as the actual exam. But okay, a solid defense alone doesn't beat France because nobody's shutting Mbappé and Dembélé out for 90 minutes on hope. So here's where it gets interesting. We have actually already watched Spain solve this exact French team in the game that mattered most 2 years ago, Euro 2024 semi-final Munich. France go ahead early through Kolo Muani, and what happens? 16-year-old Lamine Yamal drags Spain level with a strike from the exact space France's right side left open, and 4 minutes later, Dari Olmo finishes off a move that carved through the same zone again. Spain didn't outpossess France that night in some elegant tiki-taka throwback. They hit them fast twice. In 5 minutes, through the space France's structure gives up. That's not a lucky one-off, that's a blueprint. And Spain's whole 2026 setup, Yamal, Nico Williams, Cucurella bombing on, is built to run it again. Now that alone wouldn't matter if France had actually fixed the problem since Munich. Here's the twist. They haven't. They have just been good enough not to get punished for it yet. Watch the group stage carefully and it's right there. Deschamps himself after the Sweden's game admitted his team had conceded a few chances too many. Theo Hernandez had looked shaky enough at left back that Deschamps swapped in Lucas Digne for defensive security. And the high line that's let Mbappé feast in behind opponents all tournament is a two-way street. It leaves exactly the in-behind running lanes that Yamal and Nico Williams live in. France beat Senegal 3-1, Iraq 3-0, Norway 4-1, Sweden 3-0. Brilliant going forward show, but every single one of those matches also saw them concede space and chances that a team like Cape Verde or Iraq simply didn't have the quality to punish. Spain too. Now the obvious counter, and I want to deal with it properly rather than dodge it. France haven't lost a World Cup knockout match since 2014 outside the 2022 final penalty shootout, and their squad depth is honestly ridiculous. Barcola, Doué, Charki, Thuram coming off the bench like a cheat code. That record is real, but records get built against teams that can't exploit the flaw. Spain are not guessing at this weakness. They have already done the surgery on this exact French team on the exact stage that matters, with basically this same core of players. Depth wins you attrition, it doesn't fix a structural leak that a specific opponent has already proven it can find twice in 5 minutes. And here's the part most people have completely missed. This is not hypothetical scheduling. FIFA deliberately kept the top 4 ranked teams, Spain, Argentina, France, England, on opposite sides of the draw, specifically so they couldn't collide before the semi-final. Which means if both sides do their jobs, this is a stage-managed rematch of Munich. At the latest, most pressure-soaked point of the tournament. Not some quarter-final coin flip. Spain peaking defensively right on cue. France still carry the same soft spot Deschamps hasn't patched. That's not coincidence, that's a collision course. So strip away the highlight reels and the Ballon d'Or headlines, and the through line is this. France's attack is the best in the tournament, but Spain are the only side who have already found and exploited the exact crack in France's foundation, and they are doing it with playing better defensively than anyone left in this competition. Keep an eye on that left side against Digne or Hernandez, and keep an eye on how high France's backline sits once Yamal gets isolated in behind. If Spain get there, that's where this World Cup gets decided. France might have the flashier trailer, but Spain have already read the script. and they have got the receipts to prove it. Drop a prediction below. Does Spain do it again, or does France finally close the gap? Smash a like if you want the semi-final breakdown the second the bracket confirms it, and subscribe so you don't miss it.